Piloto and Papako, a brave journey of friendship. One day when Piloto the Blenny was tending to his algae garden around his burrow, the rosy-lipped batfish stopped by and said, "Piloto, you have been in a sad mood lately. I think you are lonely. I have a surprise for you." Piloto perked right up and asked, "What is it?" "I know of a Blenny just like you. Her name is Papako. You can find her by going to the coral hill. From the top you will see a colorful reef. Swim to it, and then continue in the same direction. A beautiful hard coral garden will await you, followed by an underwater jungle. There is a desert on the other side. That is all I can tell you. The rest you will have to discover yourself," the batfish said, and disappeared. Piloto's curiosity got the better of him. The batfish was right. He was lonely. He decided to leave his familiar reef. He was going to find Papako. Soon Piloto saw the coral hill the batfish had told him about. It seemed like a mountain, it was so big. Sure enough, he could see the colorful reef from the top. Full of excitement, he raced down the hill when suddenly the strangest fish flared its large feather-like fins, forcing Piloto to stop. It swam right next to him and roared so loud the coral around him shook. "Who are you, and why are you in such a hurry?" Piloto whispered back, his voice shaken. "I'm Piloto. I am looking for a Blenny Papako." "What kind of a fish are you, and what are those long spines?" Piloto asked. "I am a lionfish," came the reply. "I swim slowly most of the time, and I stay close to the reef. The spines on my back are part of my dorsal fin, and they also have poison in them. They help protect me. If I feel threatened, I put my head down like a handstand, and the spine will point straight out like spears. If the fish comes too close and pokes itself, the poison will sting it. I still have one more tool. If needed, I can open my mouth so wide it looks bigger than my whole body. Look at me, Piloto, and see how scary I look when I open it real wide." "Whoa, that is huge. I am sure that both Piloto and I could easily fit into that big mouth." Piloto would like to have a couple of spines and a huge mouth on his adventure. He was just a small fish on a big reef, but luckily he was brave. The table coral was easy to find, and it was the only coral he got to see, for all of a sudden he wasn't going anywhere. Something was holding him. Laughter filled the ocean, and Piloto looked up. What he saw was indescribable. There were arms everywhere. An animal said, "No one gets around my territory without stopping for a chat." Piloto quickly introduced himself and asked, "Who are you?" The creature happily said, "I am a cuttlefish. I have 8 arms in front of me, which I can move in all directions. They are almost like rubber. I can create waves of color through my skin, and I can be smooth or bumpy if I want to." "Why all these colors and textures?" Piloto asked. "I use them to make myself look just like the reef, so I can't be seen. It's called camouflage. Look now, Piloto." The cuttlefish changed many colors and shapes for Piloto, and he was amazed. "You don't have any fingers or hands nor claws. Why couldn't I swim away?" Piloto asked. The cuttlefish laughed again and said, "I have suction cups under the underside of each of my 8 arms. I sucked you up with my cups." Piloto laughed too, but they stopped when a mysterious black cloud enveloped them. The world turned dark. They couldn't see a thing, not even each other. Through this strange murk they heard a giggle. "Hee hee hee hee. I guess the cuttlefish forgot to tell you about our ink," its cousin the octopus said merrily. "That is the smartest of all our tricks. When somebody comes too close, we squirt all our black ink out. Then we hurry on the other side of the cloud and disappear. See if you can find me now." "Can you see it?" Piloto asked the cuttlefish. "Not yet," answered the cuttlefish. "There it is," the cuttlefish said, full of excitement. It pointed to the black eyes in the sand. As soon as the octopus knew it was found, its whole body and 8 arms turned into bright stripes. The 3 of them laughed at all the games they had played, but Piloto still had to get through the jungle if he was ever to find Papako. "Just swim with the current. It will take you there. they said, and waved their heartfelt goodbyes with their 16 arms. This must be the jungle. Look at all the sea fans, Piloto thought to himself. One in particular had deep red branches with white, flower-like blossoms. Piloto decided to take a rest and settle on one of the bouquets, but before he knew it, he was sitting on a bare, hard branch. What happened, he wondered. He heard a voice saying, "What are you doing? You're sitting on us." Piloto looked around, but there was nobody other than the sea fan. "That is right. It is us you're sitting on. Us, the sea fan." Piloto apologized and said, "I am sorry." The sea fan said, "That's all right. We are a very sensitive kind of coral, and our flowery polyps disappear back into our tubes in our branches when we are touched. We can only eat when our polyps are out, so now we're hungry. We eat because we're animals, though we look like flowers." Surprised, Piloto asked Sea Fan, "If you are animals, why don't you grow so close together when you have a big reef to live on?" They explained, "Since we can't move anywhere, we depend on the current to bring our food to us. It is called plankton, and the water is full of it. You can barely see it, it is that small. Together we polyps have built a tall sea fan so high we can grab tons of delicious plankton in the strongest of currents. We grow so large that animals like gobies and the long-nosed hawkfish find shelter between our branches. We not even only help ourselves, but we provide shelter for others too. The gobie's body is transparent and it looks the same red color as our branches, and it hides really well that way. The hawkfish's patterns matches our branches. It has no swim bladder, so it perches on our branches in between its short swims." Piloto said, "Since you are high off the reef, can you see a desert from there?" The batfish said, "I had to cross it to find Papako." "Swim to the shallows, and the desert starts at the edge of the jungle," the sea fan said. So Piloto finned up. Through the lush jungle, the bright sand caught his eye, and so did a loud banging. When he looked down, he saw the weirdest looking creature with enormous eyeball. It has 2 clawed forearms it was using to bang on a shell with. "Stop, stop," Piloto yelled. "You're hurting the shell." "That's right. I am trying to crack it open. The meat inside is my favorite and I want to eat it. Sometimes the shell is so thick that I have to hit it extra hard with my clubs. If it still won't break, I get so mad I club it even harder. I have the fastest and hardest hit of anyone in the animal kingdom. If you can please excuse me, I have a shell to crack open. I can't be talking all day." The shell never cracked, and the creature threw it away in frustration. Then it was gone. Piloto looked and looked, but it was nowhere to be found. Then he saw 2 eyes peeking out of the sand from another opening a foot away. When the creature saw Piloto, it growled, "Why are you still here? I thought I was alone, and I like it that way. I am mad because I couldn't break the shell." "I'm sure you'll find another," Piloto said. "I think you're lucky you had 2 openings." "There is nothing lucky about that because I built them. They're not just an opening, but they are an underground tunnel. My eyes are long stalks, so I can turn them in all directions. I always know what is happening all around me. I can do this because I am a mantis shrimp." "Since you can see everywhere, have you seen of another blenny around like me?" Piloto asked. "You must be talking about Papako. Swim a little further and you will see a barrel sponge. She lives right by it. But be aware of the gigantic hammerhead sharks right before you get there. They will eat you if they can. They have razor-sharp teeth and they are just as hungry as I am," the mantis shrimp warned. Piloto thanked the shrimp and wished it good luck with the shell. "Good luck to you too, Piloto," it said as it waved goodbye with its claws and clubs. "You will need it." The water darkened. Piloto looked up and there they were, an endless swarm of hammerhead sharks right above him. "Help, there are hundreds of them. The batfish never warned me about the sharks." Piloto darted to the reef for cover, but he had to be brave if he was ever to find Papako. "The hammerheads will have to find another blenny for dinner," Piloto thought. "I am going for it." So he gathered all his courage and raced across the open part of the reef, ignoring the danger. The sponge was easy to see, and it was big and tall. Piloto charged straight for it. I made it, he cried out when he reached it. There was Papako, just like the shrimp had promised. She was sitting on the reef, basking in the sunshine. Piloto was so excited when he heard Papako call out, "There you are! I heard you were coming. Come and rest on the reef. Now tell me what you saw on your long adventure." Piloto settled right next to her, and he had a lot to tell. "First I saw the lionfish. It has spines with poison in them and a huge mouth. It was scary. Then the cuttlefish and octopus surprised me in the hard coral gardens. They showed me their amazing camouflage, suction cups, and inks. The sea fan was in the jungle, and it's built by polyps. It gets so large that goby and hawkfish stay protected in it. The mantis shrimp lives in the desert, and it has 2 clubs and many claws. Its enormous eyeballs help it see everywhere. To reach you, I had to swim through millions of hammerheads, but I was too fast for them to catch me." Piloto and Papako were getting along so well. She asked, "Why don't you move in next to me?" "That would be great," Piloto said. He often thinks of all the friends he met during the journey. He learned that the reef has many kinds of animals, all different shapes and size. Each one has wonderful lessons to teach. Piloto and Papako may go visiting someday, but for now they're staying side by side. They always help each other in their algae gardens and do whatever needs to be done in their blenny lives. They have truly become the best of friends. The end. For now.